As we move on into game number 2, Rudan currently having a 1-0 lead as we move into Tyrannus stand. Gonna go ahead and speed things up just a little bit until we get to that 2-minute mark. Altar of Kings already being placed down. There is that barracks. Meanwhile, we are going for an Ancient of War creep camp here, and that Ancient of War has taken a fair bit of damage and is now in a little bit of trouble. Militia purposely aggroing and pulling himself back once more, now attacking the Ancient of War again, and this Ancient of War taking a lot more damage than it should. It's going to have a very difficult time trying to do anything, as the Wisp now being brought off to the north to purposely heal. One Wisp down over here is gonna try and pick up perhaps a Troll Shadow Priest or two. We saw how important that was in game number 1, as the Ancient of War now gonna be using triple Wisp to heal back up. Alright, Mud Golems, Kobold Geomancer, Kobold Taskmaster, all of those with medium armor, meaning that the Archer actually deals less damage on these main units here. Only the Taskmaster has heavy armor, so that is the only one that's taking the full damage there. Meanwhile, off to the north, Archmage is sitting at level 1, will be very close to level 2 after taking down that guy, as we see him now go after the Apprentice Wizards off on the right. Alright, Ancient of War still taking a beating and not quite sure if it's going to be able to stick around all too long. The Kobold Geomancers are taking or dealing a lot of damage back here, as we see 1-2 now Warden sitting at level 2, picking up a Potion of Greater Healing and also a Tome of Intelligence. Very nice item there, as all of a sudden we should be looking at Rudan perhaps rooting this Ancient of War and trying to train up more units. Militia now being called in from the south. It doesn't look like a Wisp is anywhere nearby. Nope, there is a Wisp and no detonation at all. Archmage gonna hug around the corner here, and we may be looking at perhaps a number of Water Elementals being abolished magic here, but a Troll Shadow Priest does need to be hired. Demon Hunter now leading the charge. One Troll Shadow Priest, one Archer behind, as we're looking at the Kobold Geomancer now taken out. Militia finishing up things here. Warden does show up to the party. Are we going to see perhaps a little bit of damage? There's a Shadow Strike onto a Militia. No, I guess you could abolish magic that. Troll Shadow Priest now coming back out. Are we going to see a Fan of Knives? A Fan of Knives would have actually been perfect right there, as another Shadow Strike comes in. There goes a Peasant, as the Warden now sitting at level 2 has to be extremely careful. I would have sworn a Fan of Knives would have really just melted a whole bunch of hit points across multiple units, but the big difference is the human player can always use a Scroll of Regeneration to try and offset any of that damage. Warden now heading back home. Let's take a look. Huntresses now being added to the army. The Moonwells are rather empty at this point, so we'll see how all of that is going to be used in just a bit. Warden still needs plenty of mana. Drinks a little bit from one Moonwell, drinks another from one more, down to 110 mana. And this is where that Wand of Mana Stealing coming in from the Archmage really tipped things in his favor. Stealing 50 mana, all of a sudden this Warden couldn't do nearly as much damage, as the Ancient of War now getting ready to tank over here at the bottom expansion location. One Ancient of War off to the north, ready to go. We can see more Troll Shadow Priests being hired up. Always very important for that abolish magic early on, as the Warden now sitting at level 3. We are not teching the Tree of Ages, so this is a tier 1.5 army with these Huntresses. And the units are rather strong now, but we are going to be going up and against an expansion from Hawk. Hawk knows that the guard towers, once they are constructed, will pretty much stop any serious attempt at harassment coming in from those Huntresses. The piercing damage and the rate of fire just so fast and furious that those Huntresses often fall apart in just a matter of moments. Meanwhile, Water Elemental gonna go ahead and take down a number of units here. Archmage does have Vampiric Aura, gonna bring it back closer to the Footmen, perhaps gonna try and heal up those units again, as the Warden now sitting at level 3, and we are still sitting at a Tree of Life and upgrading and getting up a second Tree of Life for a long economic game. All right, Arcane Tower trying to come in. Oh, there is a Vampiric Aura. Where is the Troll Shadow Priest to try and abolish magic that unit? 675 hit points. you can really just abolish that unit pretty quickly there, as one very low hit point Huntress now being forced to retreat once again. All right, let's take a look. Militia now being called over. It looks like one shot, yes, gonna be able to finish it off. Water Elementals now giving chase again, as the Warden very low on mana, perhaps wishing that she actually had a potion of greater mana than the potion of healing. All right, we're looking into a fight here. Abolish Magic takes down another unit. Are we gonna perhaps see another Abolish Magic come in? And yes, there it is, but a Troll Shadow Priest does get lost in the process. Mana stealing coming in once more, as the Warden now in a little bit of trouble. Huntress is now trying to chase after the Footman. The Footman, however, able to get away, as the Water Elemental turns around and does a significant amount of damage. Water Elemental down to 348 hit points, but the time life most likely will fall. Going to be rather close. No, the Water Elemental now looking to back off here, and it looks like it will end up surviving. Only to lose itself to time life. All right, let's see. One more shot. Yes, there it goes. Warden in a very sticky situation, trying to fight down unit after unit. You can see level 4 now on the Archmage, as a Troll Berserker was taken down. Warden now down to 500 hit points pretty much, as he was forced to use a potion of healing, which heals 500 hit points, keeping that Warden alive. That Warden would be near dead right now, or pretty much dead at this point. Able to stick around a little while longer, as the Huntresses are now backing off. All right, Tree of Life is about to be done. We should be haunting or entangling a gold mine here in just a second. Forest Troll Shadow Priest down to 125 hit points, really needs to find a way to survive and continue to live on here, as the Archmage may try to come in here. All right, Warden down to 42 mana. He really would like 190 mana right now. That's how much mana he would have had if he did not get mana stolen twice. That Warden still wandering around, taking a lot of damage onto that Warden, as that Warden is looking to back off. 41 over 60 supply compared to 36 over 54. Also, the additional peasants here compared to the additional wisp, which haven't really begun a mine. It would seem that Hawk has a bigger army, or at least a more sizable army at this point. Entangled Gold Mine now getting attacked here. And what's interesting about this is that the Entangled Gold Mine... Oh, wait, constant detonation as the unit gets taken down once more. Huntresses are now ready to show up into the party, and this is just going to turn in from a bad to a horrible situation, as all those units are now in retreat. All right, they really needed to use that Scroll of Town portal. Otherwise, all of the entire other army would have been lost with no real attempt or possibility of retreat. Warden now sitting at level 4.5, almost level 5. And it looks like the Warden is going to be just shy of level 5 after finishing off these 2 level 2 creeps. All right, Warden now down to, 1346, needs 1400 experience. That's what we're looking at here. Huntress now taking down a handful of units. It looks like, yes, there goes one. There goes another. Where is the Warden? Is she ready to go? Warden now, wow, about 15 experience shy from the next level, as the Warden going to come in, gets in a Fan of Strike, Sinister Strike, and now the Warden is at level 5 herself and should be able to do a significant portion of the damage to the army. However, the Archmage is hiding in the backfield, constant pressure, making it very difficult to try and stop that Archmage. Archmage dropping Water Elementals and even leaving one behind just as a harassment technique. It's telling him you cannot leave your base if you want this economic advantage, or at least to be even with me. I'm constantly going to put pressure on you. Huntresses, Troll Berserkers, Troll Shadow Priest, all ready to go. Huntress now heading back off to the north. All right, Archmage, Troll Shadow Priest, Troll Berserkers, Mud Golems. We are using the economic advantage to turn it into a tech advantage simply by hiring units from the tavern, or not the tavern, the mercenary camps. These mercenary camps can bring out tier 1.5 to tier 2 units. It just costs a little bit of extra gold, which both of these players pretty much seem to have an abundance of. 500 right now, 219, but he just went to low upkeep, blowing past that 50 supply mark. Blacksmith now taking a beating here. It looks like the Water Elementals are all here. There's 3 Troll Shadow Priests, Ogre Mauler all here as well. And we are now also setting up an Ancient Protector. All right, Blacksmith about to be taken down. Are we going to be looking at Riflemen? No Riflemen, no Mortar teams that I have seen as of yet, but we are now looking into a big fight here at the road in between these two bases. All right, Mauler now turning around fighting after the militia, and what is going to be happening next? As the units are just constantly focusing each other down to try and get the victory there. Another quick abolish magic again. However, these poor water elementals are starting to really run low on life. It looks as though, yes, that Mountain King now going to try and survive, but only to get taken down. And I believe the Warden is just, does hit level 6. Level 6 Warden at the 11-minute 30-second mark. And that Warden is now just a force to be reckoned with once it gets up to 150 mana. Clarity Potion, not available at your opponent's blacksmith. I don't care how hard you pound on that door, you're not going to be able to pick that up. But the Rifleman now desperately trying to get away will be able to do exactly that, hiding in the bottom side here. But wait, no, once more rolls on out and is meted and greeted by this Huntress army. All right. Fan of Knives quickly coming through. Warden using a potion of invulnerability. Warden sitting at level 6. If somehow Hawk is able to survive and win this game, this would have been one of the best turnarounds I've seen. A level 6 Warden going up against a level 4 Archmage and a level 1 Mountain King. That Mountain King will have to really work overtime in order to offset the advantage that a level 6 Warden can bring to the table. All right, Water Elementals. Looks like Arcane Sanctums being placed down. Double Arcane Sanctums being placed down. Now, Archmage doing a good job just trying to recollect himself. Just shy of level 5, level 3 Water Elementals, most likely around the corner. Meanwhile, down over here, a large army of Huntresses going and moving out with that Warden. The Warden going to be heading off to the north here in just a second, turning to the right and attempting to stop his opponent from getting too much of an economic advantage. We are at keep, and we are sitting at 32/72 supply, perhaps hoping and waiting to build the necessary units to really fight back against this army here. But the necessary units are really mortar teams, nothing that really taking advantage of the splash damage on these Ogre Maulers, and more importantly, these Huntresses. All right, back around here, you can take a look. Stormbolt coming through. Troll Shadow Priest number 1 now dead. 2 and 3 still alive as the units are starting to take a fair bit of punishment. All right, Warden may get to level 7 here if it actually focuses down that Water Elemental. Just focus it down. He's down to 117 hit points. Just do it, and you are going to be fine. Stormbolt now onto the Warden. Warden now in serious trouble, but at level 7 to almost 200 mana, does a Fan of Knives. Now may be able to get off another Fan of Knives here in just a second, as the Warden now up to up to level 5 with now 300 hit points to go. All right, Archmage now trying to get away. Huntress now trying to back off here. Huntresses are just sitting inside the base, and there is the GG. Hawk loses game number 2 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.